Well, we're back on Gelvin Valley. I moved the machines from the previous field over to number 42, which is on the edge of the map, and it's quite a bit bigger, so we probably need to get started. One thing that I just learned, though, has to do with the damage mod that's right in the middle of the screen. I don't know how it got centered, right over the top of the equipment, but I don't quite like that placement. So I guess all you got to do is get a mouse pointer and you can drag and drop it. Took me a little bit to figure that out, but oh well. Let me get this guy going. Our trusty little combine. And this field's gonna take a little while. See that other field we just did down there. I wish Courseplay didn't litter the place with all of its marks, even when I have it turned off. But seems like it's unavoidable. Still kind of a little hill in here. Our little hillside combine is pulling. And here we get to the edge of the map. I'm not sure. Oh, he's having trouble kind of getting through here. I'll try to help him out. Oh yes, a fence post. I don't know what it's doing out there. Seems almost kind of out in the middle of nowhere almost. I'll get around in and now here we're right on the edge of the map, and I kind of put that huge rock over there. I was thinking of trying some things to kind of help make it a little more realistic. I think if you look at it from this angle, it's fine, because if you know anything about the map, you know that it's full of valleys and hills and everything, and so you might expect that behind this field the ground would drop off, kind of into a ravine. So from here it looks somewhat realistic. Trouble is when you get right up on the edge over here, you kind of go, whoops, something else is going on here. So we'll try to keep it kind of over this way. We go to, yeah, he's filling right up, so I'm going to keep him going. And this is an oblong shaped field. When you come up here, it gets horrendously steep up there. And there's islands, field islands, and trees, and all sorts of obstacles to get around, so this is going to be interesting. And you'll see also, I got these, it's full of weeds in here. This also was a big grass field in here, and I brought in the chisel plow, and I had to rip it up in order to put in wheat. So it has, it has to do with the mechanics of the game. It has this type of foliage or weeds. This isn't the soil mod weeds that grow and you can't plow them out. But I don't mind them there. That looks kind of realistic. Occasionally, no matter how good of crop controls you've applied with chemical and whatever else, sometimes, no matter what you've done, you still get weeds. So in that regard, I kind of like it. The only problem is if the combine came through there, you can rest assured those would be cut off, and they're not. So, but that's all right. Anyway, he's getting close to needing unloaded, so we're gonna fire this guy up, and because it's the outer rounds, he is gonna be as dumb as a post on Courseplay. So I'm just gonna go follow him. There's a pesky post. I'll maybe hop in cab, but I'll preserve a little bit of reality. My last video was 40 minutes. I've been getting some advice from a friend of mine who is a YouTuber. His name is Atomic67, kind of back in the day when he did more farming sim videos, he went by the name of Eustace Farmer. And I think it was in conjunction with this particular map. I may have even mentioned this in another video. Oh boy, he isn't wanting to climb. It was in conjunction with this map that I think I first came across Eustace Farmer. I'm going to park him on the hill. We're going to have to back off of here to unload. But he also has a map tour, if you will, of Gelvin Valley. We kind of met on FSU UK, and he met the map maker and ended up making, boy, I think it's 17 episodes. A lot of footage. So I'll try to link his series up in when I post this video. Now, why is there we go? Got to get rid of my mouse pointer. But what I particularly liked about Eustace Farmer or EP or however he wants to be called now is his storytelling. I mean, I've told some people I'm just a sucker for a story. You know, I grew up in a home where I had 4 brothers and 2 little sisters. I was the oldest, and I had a really good dad. He and a lot of times what he would do is put us to bed with a story, and he would just make it up on the spot. He was really gifted that way. And so I have many memories just sitting there mesmerized listening to my dad, you know, invent characters out of thin air and tell a story. And typically it'd be, you know, something like animals. You know, probably the one that was recurring most often would be this rabbit family that he would tell us about. And you know, this family had the names of the kids were the same. They matched our family, so we could identify with them. And they got into all kinds of mayhem and whatnot. But just had a wonderful childhood with lots of stories. And I still just love hearing stories. And so, whoops, I need to get back over here and do some farming because he's full almost. If I turn on my drive control. So anyway, I love a good story, and Eustace Farmer, Atomic 67, is an awesome storyteller. And I mean, all you have to do is look at the first video on his Gelvin Valley series, and you'll know what I mean. Like I say, I'll link that up when I post the video. He just has a way of telling a story, bringing characters alive, and he just doesn't do it half-heartedly. He he even, you know, if he's trying to do a character, you know, we both live in the States, and if he's doing a character that is Irish or from the UK, you know, you guys over there probably would laugh at our attempts at mimicking your accent, but he tries to build that in so that you can tell the difference between the characters. And you know, there's just a ton of them he's had over the years, and maybe in another video I can describe even more, but it's just a treasure listening to him. And I've recently gone through and started re-listening to his content. I've listened to every single one of his videos, and it's just a treat to listen to him. So do give him a try at some point if you haven't. But another thing, he's been very generous in helping me try to do this. In some ways, it almost seems like he's bound and determined to turn me into a YouTuber. And I'm not really a YouTuber. I don't know how I got started doing this. Um, just a couple videos in, and only time's going to tell if I actually keep after it or lose interest or whatever. Oh, come on, Course Play. You know he wants to go to market. Please? I wonder if the combine assignment still... No? No, that's off, but... There we go. Yeah, headed the right direction. So he's looked at a couple of my videos before I ever made them public, and when I say made public, I know they're out there now. Um, I'll be shocked if anybody ever watches them other than my kids or listens to it. So for all I know right now, I'm talking to an empty room and nobody will ever hear this, but that's okay. Let me go do some winter run while he's emptying. I think he can make it to pheasant pluckers on his own little self. But one of the things he told me, and these are things you never think of, when you've never done it before, is he told me to try to shorten the length of my videos. The first one I did, which didn't have any narrative, I think it was 37 minutes. I just kind of did it for kicks. I had a certain amount of time, and when I ran out of time, I hit stop, and that was that. The next one, I believe, was an hour and 40 minutes, and the third was almost 2 hours. It was maybe an hour and 50. Probably this biggest shock to me was being able to talk that whole time. So I don't really consider myself, I'm not really a talker. Don't have that much to say, or sure doesn't seem like it. But there's nobody in here, so I guess nobody can argue with me, and I can either talk or not. But anyway, he told me try to keep them to, I forget the exact increment, but under half an hour. Well, I already screwed that up on the previous video by going 40 minutes. But I figured I at least wanted to finish harvesting the field, but maybe I shouldn't have been. Oh boy, can you climb this hill? Last time I did this, I think I had canola in here, so I didn't have to bale it. I think I can, I think I can. Wow, it's just a gorgeous map. Love the topography, just love it. So, I'm already 10 minutes in, I think, somewhere around there. So I'm gonna try to follow his advice because I really don't know what I'm doing and try to shorten these up. I think the way he put it is he says, you know, I personally enjoy long videos. Sometimes, I mean, they literally go hours in length, and I can listen to them at odd times when I'm modding or doing whatever. But other people, maybe depending on the nature of their job or the time they have, all they may have time to do is just listen over a lunch break or that kind of thing. So if all you have is a half an hour and somebody's pushed out a hour video or something over, you may intend to go back to it if you're interested, but you may just bag it and forget about it. So if it's in smaller doses, he said, it can make it a little easier on the listener, or maybe even more likely that they will click on it and listen to it, if it isn't quite so long. Like I say, I can't really relate to that because I don't think anything of it, listening to a long YouTube video or whatever. If I'm interested in the content, I mean, I definitely come back. I mean, I bookmark that all the time on my computer. If I'm not able to listen to it all in one fell swoop, I have it set up so I can easily come back and get all of it. But the world doesn't operate according to my dictates, so what do you know? I'll give it a try. This here, I don't know how they do this in real life. I've been coming around these fields 2 rounds. Make sure my courseplay guy, yep, he's returning from the pheasant pluckers. Yeah, negative cash is getting a little less negative, but still under water by quite a bit. Oh, the perils and joys of running a farm. Yeah, so maybe if I really had some courage and got outside my comfort zone, I would try to concoct a story to put on here. Not sure I have the same talent as my father, though. I've tried a few stories with my kids over the years, and well, some of them are okay. Most of them are just dumb. But they listen. You know something? I don't think. Let me try to adjust this. Maybe that's about what I need. Sometimes on the hills, the GPS doesn't work quite the way it works when it's on the flat. Might be that way in real life too, just dealing with the angles of the ground versus however the GPS is configured, which might be on a flat plane. You know, I'm still climbing a hill here. I think I mentioned previously that I had written a small little script, a little Lewis script, that helps the bales stay on the hill. Because, boy, the first go around when I was doing it in here, those bales couldn't wait to gallop to the bottom of the hill, and I don't know that I ever had any that leapt to any fences and whatnot, but I think they were trying to escape. And you know, if you do that on the edge of the map, um, there's some likelihood a bale could go off the edge, and you basically would never be able to retrieve it. So that would be a kerfuffle. Yeah, so I really appreciate Atomic 67, Eustace Farmer, however we all know him, giving me some good counsel on setting up YouTube videos and how to try to do it right. Oh, my tractor's slipping again. I'll be right back. Yep, kissing a fence. Good thing that fence was there, or else Horseplay would have taken him off the cliff for sure. I'll have to release his combine assignment, or else when he's filled up, he's not going to behave himself. Yeah, it seems like it usually takes a couple rounds before Horseplay works with some degree of accuracy. But I'm still trying to use it. Helps me leverage my time just a little bit. Another thing Atomic helped me, for which I'm really grateful, is the thumbnails for the video. You know, when I first did these, I mean, I just kind of recorded them raw, threw them onto the internet, and I think YouTube has some algorithm that picks a it'll pick a thumbnail for you to show something on your video, and he showed me how to build my own thumbnails and even provided a template for it. And I'm just, yeah, I feel really grateful because I'm not a real artsy person. I mean, I'm an accountant, okay, so I don't I don't think I have a single artistic bone in my body, so doing a lot of texture work or working with images and that kind of thing, that's really kind of out of my area of ability. Do like numbers though, and I sure don't like that big negative one up there in the corner, but like I say, we're working on it. That reminds me, a later version of the game I know had a mod, oops, I missed this corner, that would simulate taxes, I think. I don't know if it worked entirely the best, so I can't say I've really ever fiddled with it that much, but I give him credit for putting it in there, whoever did it. think I'm still gonna park this guy up here just so he stays out of the way of his compadres down in field 42. And here I am 20 minutes into this video and it still doesn't seem like much has happened. Oh, the traffic on here, my word. This is a sheep pasture up here. You know, you come in over cattle guards and still, yeah, right over there, there is still steady traffic coming up through here. Just enough to give you a headache as you try to navigate the fields. And here's our horseplay guy standing out in the middle of the field for whatever reason. Yeah, he's probably waiting for the combine to turn. Yeah, we can see straw coming out of the back of that combine. I like. We'll see some more. His butt's up in the air, but there's straw going clear to the ground. That's helpful. Boy, is it dirty. I don't know if you can hear the sound. The map author put some wind kind of up in this area. I guess at a high point. I think there's some other higher hills in the map where you get up on top of them, you can hear the wind blowing just like you would in real life. It's kind of a cool little effect. There is no end of details really that a mapper can put into a map. You know, with some imagination. That would be one little detail. There's occasionally areas you go to, I think you'll hear some birds chirping. Nope, 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 don't go up there, tractor. There's no need. Yeah, he's just confused. Just confused. Probably thinks he could find the line. I'll just see if he'll go there now. Oh, he'll stop. He'll think a little out on the drive. Yeah, there he goes. So we'll send him off and have him continue working on our profit problem here. I don't even know what the price of grain is. Let me see if I can find it here real quick. This barley great demand. If only I had barley. See, I think I could cure my cash problem if I sold all the wheat I got in storage, but what am I getting for this stuff? Pheasant pluckers, 211 a ton. I could get that at the farm shop. Yep, that is still pretty well the best price available. Just a picturesque drive all through here with colors. And this is where mappers really distinguish themselves. I know in later versions of the game, the maps are getting more so to where the player can build their own farm. You know, using placeables or what have you, depending on how the mapper sets it up. But I'm still a bigger fan of the old way of doing maps where a dedicated modder mapper would put together their own little world, and they might have some flexibility where you could place some things down or what have you, but most of it was set. You know, like this right here, there's no way I can move the road or change the ditches or move fences or change a lot of this foliage. That's all set there, and those buildings over there, nothing I can do to move them, you know, unless I take it into the editor and do it myself. But I think on the newer versions you could move a lot of that around even while you're in game to suit your liking. But I like it this way, to where you can see what someone's creative mind came up with, and just the details, you know, whether it's these people that are walking down here, the signs. I haven't begun to look at all the signs. I mean, look at that. Those people are walking on the walkway there. The different types of foliage, the ducks quacking in the river. down to the placement of the weeds. There's just so many details, and it's impressive how those guys are able to put all those in there. I mean, shoot, I'm an accountant, and I don't even know if even I have enough detail, um, tendency to detail to be able to do it. They're kind of their own special breed, the guys that are able to do this and to excel at it. I mean, anybody can throw together a map, but there's just way more to it than coloring a few fields out and planting a couple trees and a couple buildings. There's a lot of artistry that goes into it, and it's impressive. We were coming up on old pheasant pluckers. And you see off in the distance, that's the distance hills that he placed outside of the map border. Here we come in to sell. Give me money. Yeah, I think I've been getting about $1,700. Slowly we'll ratchet this down. Gotta get that under control. This is actually my third harvest on the map. The first harvest, I left all the fields as is. I even had a couple of other little fields that I since have sold. Maybe I could even pull this up. I can't remember if I described this. Field number 17 and 20, kind of up in the upper right hand corner, and field number 39 and 40. That's kind of what you start with as a player, along with all the other fields that you see marked with green, except for 38 and 22. I find these sold, 17 and 20, which are basically just grass fields, and 39 and 40. I didn't get that much for them, but they're not very big, and they're horrendously steep, except for 17. 17 was pretty flat. So, and I did hay on all of them. I cut all of them, but wow, it was a trial. So I managed to do a second harvest where I didn't touch those little fields, and then prior to the third one, I ended up just selling them and taking a little bit of money. And I had earned enough money after 2 harvests to purchase field 22 and 38. I wanted to get as big an area as I could for whatever I could afford, so I can continue doing this. But in the process, I mean, I've literally maxed everything out. I'm totally loaned to the max that the bank will allow me, and I'm 24,000 some beyond that. So I guess I'm just kind of pretending that I actually have some kind of line of credit, and the bank is just, I think they charge you interest when you're negative like this. I have the Bank of Haggenstedt mod in, so I know it's charging me interest even on the negative cash balance, I believe. So we're heading back up the hill. And again, you can see across the map border over on the edge, and it just works. It just works with how he has it set up in here to where you hardly notice it. And that's what makes it fun, a good gaming experience. When it just seems like the map goes on and on forever, and you could, if you wanted to, venture on to the other part, but obviously you're staying here to play in this little area. Initially, when he made it, if I recall correctly, the map didn't have one of those kind of borders. I almost think that was a comment I made to him during testing, that I think it would be helpful if it had a border, and I think it really helps. Back to the field we go, and because it's course play, of course, he's gonna just tear off across the field like a good fella. But I see him in about half an hour, so I think I'm going to stop the video here and catch up with you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.